Passive income might be the most oversold phrase on the internet. Dropship your way to freedom. Start a blog and never work again. Buy this course and watch the money roll in while you sleep. Most of that is nonsense. But real passive income does exist. It's just less exciting than the ads make it sound. And it almost always starts with either money or time you put in up front. In this video, 5 passive income streams that actually work, with honest numbers on what each one takes and what it actually pays. One of them can be started with almost no upfront cash. All of them are real. Quick note, this is educational, not financial advice. Returns and yields vary and aren't guaranteed. And when I say passive income, I mean income that keeps coming in without ongoing daily work, the everyday sense, not the technical IRS tax category. Last video, we ran the real math on buying versus renting. Today, same honesty, different topic. What actually generates income while you're not actively working for it? Here's the myth. Passive income means money appears with zero effort, ever. Here's the truth. Almost every real passive income stream requires one of two things up front: capital or time. What makes it passive is that after that upfront investment, it keeps paying you without ongoing daily work. Think of it as a spectrum, not a switch. On one end, streams that need money but almost no time. You set it up once and it runs. On the other end, streams that need real time up front, building something but little or no money. Nothing on this list is do nothing, get rich. Everything on this list is real. The most genuinely passive stream on this list. You buy shares in dividend-paying companies or a fund that holds them, and you may receive a payout, often quarterly, just for holding on. Keyword, may. Dividends aren't guaranteed. Companies can cut them, and payment frequency varies. We've covered index funds and the S&P 500 in earlier videos. Many of those companies pay a modest dividend on top of any price growth, and some investors build portfolios specifically around higher dividend stocks instead of pure growth funds. Quick note before the numbers, everything I calculate in this video is a simplified, hypothetical example, shown before taxes and fees unless I say otherwise. The honest catch? This is capital dependent. Here's the math to show what that actually means. $10,000 invested at a hypothetical 3% average dividend yield works out to roughly $300 a year, usually paid out in smaller chunks across the year rather than all at once. Someone with $100,000 invested earns meaningfully more than someone with $5,000. This isn't a way to generate income from nothing, it's a way to make your existing invested money work a little harder while you hold it long-term anyway. REIT stands for Real Estate Investment Trust. It's a company that owns or finances income-producing property, apartment buildings, shopping centers, warehouses. To even qualify as a REIT under federal tax rules, the company generally has to distribute at least 90% of its taxable income to shareholders. You can buy shares of a publicly traded REIT through a regular brokerage account, the same way you'd buy a stock. No tenants to manage, no midnight maintenance calls, no property to physically own. The honest catch, REITs can be more sensitive to interest rate changes than the broader market, and sector-specific REITs, like office buildings, can underperform if that specific sector struggles. To put a number on it, that same $10,000 in a hypothetical REIT yielding 4% works out to roughly $400 a year. That may be more than some broad market dividend funds pay, but it comes with real estate-specific and interest rate risk attached. Here's a stream that barely existed for most people a few years ago. Building your own app or a small piece of software, a simple tool solving one specific problem, used to require real coding skill. AI coding assistants have made this more accessible than it used to be. People without a programming background can now build simple, working tools they couldn't have built alone a few years ago. That shift is real. But more accessible doesn't mean easy or guaranteed. There's still a learning curve, still real trial and error, and what most beginners can realistically build is a simple tool, not a polished, secure, production-ready app on day one. Here's the honest catch, and it's a big one. Software might be the least passive stream on this entire list. An app doesn't just sit there like a template does. Operating systems update, and your app can break overnight. Users find bugs. People email you with questions. If you're charging a subscription, you need payment processing working correctly. This is closer to running a tiny software business than collecting a check. There are real costs too, even with free AI tools doing the heavy lifting. Typically an App Store developer account, roughly $99 a year for one major platform, a one-time $25 for another, plus hosting or a paid tool tier once your usage grows. Here's what a modest, realistic outcome looks like. A simple subscription app charging $5 a month with 200 paying users brings in roughly $1,000 a month in gross revenue, before App Store fees, which typically take 15 to 30%, and before any hosting costs. Most apps make far less than that or nothing at all. The ones that do well usually took several attempts and real iteration, same as digital products, but with an ongoing maintenance tax on top. Stream 3 showed one way to trade time for income, building software. Here's a different flavor of that same idea. Instead of ongoing maintenance and bug fixes, you build something once and it just sits there. A digital product is something you create once and sell repeatedly without restocking inventory. Templates, printables, an ebook, a stock photo library, a simple online course. You build it using free or nearly free tools, list it on a platform like Etsy or Gumroad, and it can run without you producing something new for every single sale. Here's what that can look like in practice. A $12 template sold 20 times a month works out to roughly $240 a month before platform fees come out. Worth knowing up front, most platforms take a cut. Etsy charges listing and transaction fees. Gumroad skips the monthly fee but still takes a transaction cut. So near zero cash refers to what it costs to create, not what comes out of each sale afterward. The honest catch, and this is the big one people skip in passive income content, creating something people actually want to buy takes real skill, real time, and usually several attempts before something sells consistently. There's also ongoing work most people don't picture: marketing, customer questions, occasional updates, refunds. This is genuinely the least passive stream on this list at the start. It becomes passive later, once the upfront work is done and the product is already selling. Potentially the most immediately actionable stream on this list, if you already own something sitting idle that you're actually allowed to rent out. A spare room, a parking spot, storage space in your garage, even your car when you're not using it, platforms exist to rent almost any underused asset. This isn't buying an investment property. It's monetizing something you already have. Before you list anything, check your insurance. Most standard policies don't automatically cover rental use. Check your lease or HOA rules if you rent or belong to one. Check local regulations, which vary a lot by city. And keep in mind wear and tear, platform fees, and yes, this income is taxable too. To put a rough number on it, a spare room renting for a hypothetical $600 a month or a parking spot at $150 a month adds up fast for something that was already sitting unused. The honest catch: this is the least passive of the passive streams. There's real ongoing coordination involved, even if it's minimal. It's also one of the options that needs relatively little new capital to test, which is exactly why it's on this list. Before you chase any passive income idea you see online, run it through 3 honest questions. 1. What does this actually require upfront? Money, time, or both? Be specific. A few hours a week always turns into more than that at the start. 2. What is the realistic payout based on real numbers, not the best case example in someone's ad? Look for actual historical data, not screenshots of someone's best month. 3. How much ongoing effort remains after the setup? If the answer is constant daily work, it's not passive income. It's a job with extra steps. Quick recap of the 5. Dividend and index investing. Near zero effort, needs capital. Payouts aren't guaranteed but tied directly to accounts you may already have. REITs. Real estate income without being a landlord. Still needs capital, still carries market risk. Building software or apps. AI tools make the building part more accessible than ever, but it's genuinely the least passive stream here once you count the ongoing maintenance. Digital products. Near zero cash to start, but real upfront time and ongoing work. And renting out what you already own, one of the easiest to test once you've checked the insurance and legal side. None of these are get rich while you sleep. All of them are real, and all of them beat waiting around for a stream that requires literally nothing from you, because that one doesn't exist. Your action step. Pick one stream from this list that matches what you actually have right now: money, time, or an underused asset, and take the first real step this week. Next video, how much money do you actually need to retire? We're going to run the real numbers on the 4% rule and whether it still holds up. That one ties together almost everything we've covered on this channel so far. Subscribe, and I'll see you there.